in this box is almost every single thing we need for the entire fuel system. Most of the stuff I do not remember. I don't know what I'm opening. Oh, that is the sump for my gas tank, which is where we're gonna be starting today. I'm gonna start on the gas tank, get that completely set up. That way we can go ahead and put it back in and start going from there. This should be my drop-in tree. Now, I bought this from Holly, but I'm not using this, or I'm not using all of it. So this is just a drop-in unit for my gas tank for these OBS trucks. Comes with a 525 fuel pump. I'm using one a lot bigger than that. So basically what I bought this for was just the whole unit. I'll have plugs in a float so I can put in a gas gauge. And up top, we have AN line. We have an AN90 for the vent. And we have two 6AN90s for what's supposed to be a return and an out, but I'm gonna wire them both into my return because my return off of my fuel regulator is a 10AN, so I'll just wire into two 6s, throw both of those in there, and that'll be my return into the tank. I figured that would have been a lot easier and cleaner way to do that instead of drilling a hole somewhere in the tank and putting another fitting for the return line and capping off all the factory hoses on that fuel pump unit. So
You got the whole set.
yeah.
No, was it like?
Now,
Did I get? Yeah.
that does not fit. If it just fit, that would be so perfect. All right, I did just look it up, and this is what I ordered, and according to them, it fits these gas tanks from 88 to 98. I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna make it fit. I'm gonna make it work because I don't like any of my other options. I don't know if this is gonna work, but if it does, it came together perfectly. All right, I think I got it finally squared away and perfected. So, this is how it's gonna work. O-ring, if I don't drop it in the tank, sits right there. Then I have the pump. I cut out the outside trim ring of the factory pump, and I have it sealed with tank sealer to the flange of the Holly pump. So now, that sits over top of the O-ring. This is gonna sit over top of all of that, just like that. Then it'll all get clamped down as one unit together. I'm pretty sure I'm probably gonna go ahead and seal this to the Holly unit so it's all one thing and this isn't just used as like a mounting cap, just to help make sure everything is sealed good enough. But other than that, this is completely done. If it's a little loud, I apologize. I got an AC unit right here because I'm pretty sure it's 100 degrees in this shop. All right, it took a lot longer than I'd like to admit, but fuel tank is back in. I just have to hook up my neck, hook that back up to the bed, and then I have everything ready to start plumbing. This is our Y that goes into the returns, that goes to 10 a.m. That'll go to the pressure regulator, which I'm still waiting on. And then our two fuel pump feeds come out of there. I'm just gonna 90 over. Don't know exactly how I'm gonna run those yet. I might try to squeeze them up in here. We'll see, I don't know yet, but it just has to get to right here, so I'll figure that out. Hey, what are you doing chewing on my fuel lines? Finally got the last bit of parts we needed. The biggest thing being this new fuel regulator. This isn't even the one I ordered. It's the same one I ordered, but it's not. This didn't come from Holly. They're still on back order. I still don't know when they're going to be in. So I looked on Marketplace and found this one. And it was the exact same one I ordered. Everything worked out. I just had to drive 3 hours for it, which kind of sucked. But one thing I do need to figure out though. So the original plan was my fuel lines were going to run all the way down this plate that we put on the frame right here, and my fuel regulator was going to go right here because there wasn't enough room on the plate, which is what this hose right here was for. That was my return. But they tell you in big red bold letters, do not put it on the frame next to the header. So I'm assuming they say that for a reason. What we're actually gonna do is probably try to find a place for it on the frame further back here, closer to the return. I don't know if that's gonna be possible. If it's not, worst case scenario, we just have to put it on the firewall. I just was trying not to put anything on the firewall, period, because I want it to be super clean in the engine bay. But like I said, that's worst case scenario. If it has to go there, then it has to go there. I mean, really nothing you can do about that. That's two. Of course it pushed it. Alright, so really right now we're at the point where I need to start finishing the fuel lines on the sniper side. But I've been putting that off because at the same time of doing the fuel stuff during the downtime, I've been doing the ignition stuff, and that's all going to be in its own separate video. But we are running into clearance issues between the distributor and the snipers. So I think we've come up with a solution to fix that. I'm about to do that right now. And then once that's done, we shouldn't have any clearance issues, and I should be able to go ahead and finish the fuel lines. So like I said, this sensor on the back of the rear sniper is causing all kinds of clearance issues with this distributor cap. I actually had to take the sensor out, put the cap on, and then put the sensor back in for it to all even bolt in. So what I think we're gonna do, and I think is the best option, we're gonna swap these two snipers, change up the fuel rails. What that'll do is put this sensor in between these two snipers, and hopefully that gives us the clearance we need, and that won't cause any issues. We're about to find out. It is gonna pull my harness further out of the firewall, which y'all will see how all that goes together in the next video, but yeah. Actually, it might have enough room without having to take that back off. No, actually, it doesn't. Dadgummit. I thought we got lucky. Come on. Get off. There's that. One. What's the other one? Is that it? Is this the other one? No, what is it? Take this off. Bring it up here. And that is where that goes. I don't know what to do with that motherfucker. Just 2. Pull it back out. Oh my gosh, look at that clearance. Way better. So that clears. I can get plugs on all this. This fuel rail is gonna get moved back up here, come down right there. This, I'm gonna cap this off and make this my inlet for this one, so everything is still right there where it was. And I just have to extend these wires to reach these wires.
Problem not fishy.
Hey, what are you growling at? It's the inside of the truck. Crazy. No. Just like that. Oh, 100% phones. Here. Okay, everything is buttoned down and finalized for the most part, as far as the intake and all the wiring and everything. I changed the way the fuel lines hit the inlets of the throttle bodies and where my gauge sits now, and I think this is a lot cleaner, to be honest. And one thing I really like is it really helps hide the wires behind everything. And I mean, there's some that you just can't do anything about. So the Y where these two 6ANs connect into the 10AN will sit right back here above the transmission, angled back that away, about like that. And that's where my 10AN will come up into the engine bay. That's assuming that we'll still be able to find another place for the fuel regulator, because otherwise it's gonna go on the firewall and then that'll just get turned over. I'm pretty sure this is the third or fourth time I've opened a box with some hose in it, just in this video. I don't exactly know how long this needs to be. Okay, so before anything, I gotta get this radiator support on. Two. Probably mount the regulator and the catch can right here on the strut, which means this hose is plenty long enough because it's gonna be right here on the bottom. This one is to the regulator, so I need a 90 on here. That's got plenty of slack to go backwards. Just like that. Alright, it's literally just zip tied to the radiator support, but basically that's where I'm planning on putting the regulator. I'm actually gonna notch out some sections on the bottom down here where I can drop it down a little bit lower, where I have enough room up here on the top for the catch can, and we're just gonna hope that there's enough room in there for the new radiator, because at this point right now I'm not too sure about that. But basically that's the fuel system. My lines will just run up here. We have the inlet for the snipers running up right there, return and feed going back down into the frame, and everything mounted up in here like you guys seen already. I'm gonna throw some clamps on the hose right there on the side of the frame to keep it tight where it won't be moving around too much, and on top of the frame up there. Now we can officially say the fuel system is completely done other than wiring. All of the hoses are made, they're done, they're plumbed, everything is mounted, everything is pretty much finalized. Now, I was planning on priming the fuel system today, but I'm gonna wait on that because that's gonna take a lot of trips to the gas station with jugs to fill this tank back up. And also, still not 100% sure when we'll be able to fire this thing up. We're actually not too far off now. Now that the fuel system is 100% done other than the wiring, the only thing we have left is to button up the ignition system, which we're not too far off doing. Y'all will see that in the next video. And that's basically it. Those two things and some wiring. I need some batteries and some ground cables, and we'll be able to start this thing up really, really soon. Not too sure how long we'll be able to run it until I finally get a full finalized cooling system, but that's not going to stop us from running it for 30 seconds, a minute, whatever, and we'll finally be able to hear this thing. Definitely going to start trying to knock some stuff out pretty quick because I'm ready to hear that.